Gentlemen, what is up, y'all? My name is Robert Donaldson, and welcome back to Rob's Best Bets, episode number 176. And man, do we have a lot to talk about. I missed y'all. And first off, it feels really great to be back, and I do mean back. The plan moving forward is to have 4 to 5 videos every single week, especially once college basketball starts. That is going to be very easy because we love that sport. And, you know, that said, it was actually my health that I was a little bit worried about. And it's also the reason I took off, this past month or so. Not even a month yet, but it kind of feels like it's been a lot longer than that. I was having some really bad issues with my sleep cycles and essentially feeling like I was constantly lacking energy, super drowsy, not able to stay awake during work, and it was starting to become a little bit concerning. But I've gotten that pretty much under control, or at least to a point where I know I can survive without having to make a fresh pot of coffee at 5 p.m. on a weeknight. And that said, we have got a massive recap for you right here. And right now, as you can see, overall net negative since our last recap on here, with the NFL really being the one that drug us down in October. And that said, we did have a really great day this past week with the NFL on Sunday, and really honestly just a great week overall with the NFL this past week. And 2 weeks ago we took on some multiple bad beats in the sport as well, with Mac Jones taking a safety when we had that 3.5 in the bag, and the Titans also had plus 5.5, down 7, and failed to punch it in from the 1 yard line in the fourth quarter. So bad beats are going to happen. Sometimes we're the recipient of a good beat or a good side of a bad beat, and the other times we are on the bad side of a bad beat. And that said, over the last 10 days, we have definitely been really strong, as you can see on the right side there. And that's only going to continue being the case as we work in college basketball here, because, man, as a lot of you guys know, we absolutely dominated that sport this past season. And although MLB has been great to us, when you are talking about like a playoff atmosphere in a sport, those are going to be the sharpest lines. Those are going to be the lines that are, or the games rather, and matchups that are so under the spotlight that it might be hard to find a true angle. And, we've done pretty well so far this playoffs, or at least managed kind of that middle tier of profit that we'd like to see. And all that being said, moving away from the recap, in this video, we are going to lay out all of our NFL and college football bets for the rest of the week. And this is going to be a doozy of a video. So buckle up, let's have a good time, and let's hop right into these picks. And correction, before we jump to the picks, we of course have to shout out Underdog Fantasy, who is today's video sponsor. And man, do I love working with these guys. These guys are so awesome. It's a great platform. And if you do want to get involved with the pick'em plays that we put out on Twitter each and every week, and sometimes do on this channel as well, or if you just want to take part in similar daily contests on your own, you can head over there and use my promo code ROBDFB at sign up. And for a limited time, they're actually going to be matching your first $500 rather than $100 up to 100%. So head on over there, definitely hop on that platform. It's a great way to make a little extra cash, and great sign up bonus, and a really great platform to work with. So shout out Underdog Fantasy. And with that said, let's hop right into these picks. All right, for our first pick of the day, we are starting off in college football, and we're going to be taking a look at a Saturday matchup between UTSA and East Carolina. And ECU is a program that has a lot of rich history, and they have a great fan base. They've had a lot of success, even in kind of the recent times as well. But man, they are at one of their lowest points right now under Mike Houston, and UTSA is finally hitting their stride after a slow start, and for that reason, I am very confident laying the 18.5 points. So let's do it for 2 units for our first play of the day. For pick number 2, we are heading out to Arizona, where we have the Wildcats taking on Oregon State, and this line is designed to drive action towards the Beavers. That is very obvious here, but things get really wacky in the desert this time of year, and I am really buying into this line from the sense that I think Arizona might win this thing outright. So let's take the Wildcats, getting the 3.5 points for 2.5 units for our second play of the week. 4, pick number 3, we are heading out to the blue turf where we have Boise State taking on Wyoming. And I really love Wyoming and Craig Bowl, but Boise State is coming off of a bye week, and the week prior to that is one of the more embarrassing losses of the season in the final seconds to Colorado State. And I really do think we see Boise State lay it on here in sort of a bounce back spot, if you will. So let's lay the 4 points for 3 units for our third play of the week. 4, pick number 4, we are heading down to Denton, Texas, where we have the Mean Green taking on Memphis. And this North Texas program took on a lot of criticism for firing Seth Luttrell in the offseason, and deservedly so, in my opinion. But Eric Morris has really stepped in here and has made things look like they're trending upwards, and they could even hit the ceiling this week with a win. So let's take North Texas, getting the 7.5 points for 2.5 units, and for an extra half unit, let's take them on the full game money line here as well. 4, pick number 5, we are staying in Texas and heading on over to Houston where we have Rice taking on Tulane. And I've been very bullish on the Owls this year, and I'm very bullish on them again here in a major playoff spot at home against a good Tulane team. So let's take the 11.5 points with Rice for 2.5 units, and for an extra half unit, let's take them on the full game money line here as well. 4, pick number 6, we are heading out to Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, where we have Boston College taking on UConn. And I think this UConn bunch is easily the best one-win team in the country, which is kind of funny to say, but it is true. And this line feels like more of a sucker bet based on record than actual performance of these two teams. So let's take UConn, getting the 14.5 points for 2.5 units. And for a full extra unit, let's take UConn on the first half money line here as well. 4, pick number 7, we are heading out to Jordan-Hare, where we have Auburn taking on Mississippi State. And man, if Hugh Freeze drops back-to-back winnable games at home in the SEC, this fan base could really turn on him quick. And with that being said, I really do think Auburn comes to play, and I think we could be looking at a very big beatdown. So let's take Auburn, laying the 6.5 points for 4 units for our 7th play of the week. All right, for our final play of our Week 9 college football slate, we are heading down to the Bounce House, where we have UCF taking on West Virginia. And UCF is coming off of a performance where I really do think they might have shot their emotional wad against Oklahoma in a game that really came down to the wire. And this has been a frustrating year for UCF because they've been getting blown out by teams they probably shouldn't get blown out by, and they just haven't been able to string together a lot of great performances in a row. And on the other side, West Virginia, I think, has shown a lot more bright spots, but they've also kind of faltered as of late as well. And I really do think the team that's more likely to bounce back after the last couple weeks is West Virginia. So let's take them, getting the 7 points for 4 units for our final play of Week 9. All right, now we are heading over to Week 8 of the NFL season, and we're going to be starting off in Lambeau as we have the Packers taking on the Vikings, and the Vikings are coming into this game off of a season-high win against the 49ers, and the Packers right now are as low as they've been during Matt LaFleur's tenure so far. And that said, that's why I really think this line is telling the story here, because, man, this should really not be a pick'em if you've watched these two teams perform, but wouldn't it be Vikings fashion if they drop a game that they probably should win? So let's take the Packers on the money line for 2 units for our first play of Week 8. For pick number 2, we are heading out to the nation's capital, where we have the Commanders taking on the Eagles. And once again, I think this line is telling us a story, as Philly is coming into this game after a convincing win over the Dolphins, and Washington is coming in having lost 4 of their last 5 games. And at the end of the day, this is still Washington, but let's go ahead and take the 6.5 points for 2.5 units for our second play of Week 8. For pick number 3, we are heading out to Buffalo, where we have the Bills taking on the Bucks. And the last time we saw a Florida franchise come up to Orchard Park, it was the Dolphins, and they got absolutely beat to a pulp by this team. And we are on the right side in that one, and I really do think we're going to be seeing something similar in this matchup as well. And it's a really favorable one for Buffalo as well. So let's lay the 8.5 points for 3 units for our third play of Week 8. For pick number 4, let's head on down to good old Nashville, Tennessee, where we have the Titans taking on the Falcons. And man, the Titans are at a low point in Mike Vrabel's tenure here. And on the other side, Desmond Ridder has somehow been winning games while simultaneously looking atrocious. And the Falcons have really been skating by and winning these games in spite of him so far. And I really do think that's a ticking time bomb, especially when you're at the quarterback position. So let's go ahead and take the Titans, getting the 3 points for 3 units. And for an extra unit, let's take them on the full game money line here as well. All right, for our final pick of the Week 8 NFL slate, let's head on up to Mile High, where we have the Broncos taking on the Chiefs. And Mile High is a great advantage for the Broncos, and this defense is finally starting to play some decent football to complement an offense that honestly hasn't looked that bad in most of their games this season. In fact, I would even say it's looked pretty darn good. And this is an ultimate play-up spot for Denver, and I really do think they could end up winning this thing outright. I know you guys hate when we bet on the Broncos, but just keep riding with us. You know, they helped us last week. We're up money betting on the Broncos against the spread and on the money line so far this year, despite how awful they've looked. And for those reasons, let's take the Broncos, getting the 7.5 points for 3.5 units. And for an extra unit, let's take them on the full game money line here as well. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video, and man, love the hell out of all of you guys, love interacting with you guys, and it's awesome. You know, I get to see so many DMs come through every single day. I get to see people in my replies, engaging with the content, and even when I'm not posting videos, you know, you guys on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, man, the community over there is so strong and so awesome, and I love being able to share it with my YouTube community as well. But other than that, y'all, let's keep making money. Let's have a great little overlap here of the seasons, and let's go into college basketball strong and have another great year there too. But other than that, I will see you guys in a future video. Take it easy.